talked about the constitutional aspects of firearms, so unless somebody wants to revisit that, you know where I'm coming from, and I'll leave it there. I think the issue of the day is there's a common element, actually there's several, but there's one common element that I want to focus on in the mass murders that have occurred in the last 20 years. With one exception, they've all been in what the law prescribed as a gun-free zone. And most of those were in schools, not all, but they were in gun-free zones. After 20 years of failure, hopefully we're going to get the idea that maybe we better change that law and do away with the gun-free zones, because they are not working. They're like magnets attracting the people that commit these crimes. And if we eliminate a gun-free zone, in the case, say, of a school, then we would be empowering teachers, principals, janitors, anybody that's qualified to have a concealed carry permit to be in that school with a firearm. And so the next time a dirtbag wants to come in and shoot that place up, instead of having to wait 20 minutes the way they did at Newtown, there would be somebody there, hopefully 2 or 3 there, who would be able to respond appropriately and put an end to what otherwise might have been a massacre. This actually happened in Mississippi. Joel Myrick, several years ago at a high school, assistant principal, heard shots. There was a kid at the school shooting people, killing. Myrick was abiding by the law, so he didn't have a gun with him. It was in his vehicle. He had to run some considerable distance. Happily, he was in good shape. He ran to his vehicle, got his gun, ran back on the school ground, breaking the law now, and stopped the killer before the killer continued his spree. At the Appalachian School of Law, same kind of scenario. And a couple of students were able to get their guns and stop a killer. But people have to go and get their guns because of the stupidity of the law that says no guns at a school or at a mall or wherever it might be. That, I think, has to stop. That is a law that has to be taken off the books and thrown in the trash can of history. We want to stop the killing, then we're going to stop the neon sign over these places that says, shoot them up here. It's just got to stop. There are a lot of other things we could address, but time, I think, is running against us, so let me just leave that friendly little suggestion on the table, and we can move on.
Well, we talk about it's not the guns, it's the people. You know, the guns would be a deterrent. The people are using the guns. Go ahead, Joe.
You know, for years I pastored in the inner city, and was one of the most violent community in the eastern Rankin County. But I want to say something, brother. Yeah, I want to say something on behalf of what Brother Pratt just said. I said a month ago, I had a personal situation where I really thought about killing someone. Okay, and I want to say this. There was a young lady I know for 40 years, grew up together, and saw her at a class reunion. And she shared with me that she was in an abusive relationship. In this abusive relationship, I encouraged her to get out and get some help. Well, because of the years of mental, physical abuse, out of fear, she was trying to get out of the relationship, and I told her to go down to the courts to get a protection order, which out of fear, she didn't do it. Well, to make a long story short, a month ago, this childhood friend lady that I know told her boyfriend, this knucklehead, that I'm going to leave this relationship. Out of fear, he told her, well, who's telling you this? Well, Pastor Ellison told me that. Well, this knucklehead takes her in the car out of fear, comes to my home, sits in the car, screams out there, waving a weapon, said, if you tell my beep beep to do this again, I'm going to shoot your so-and-so right in front of my home. Now, I had to make a decision.